you know, not just, as Arthur was saying, about, you know, organising various cricket dinners and things like that, but playing golf. We've done tours to Scotland, we've played St Andrews, and so on, and they have been fabulous. And I have a lot to thank him for, because honestly, I don't know of anybody else, my friends, who have done more for the community than Arthur and Joe, always assisted by Joe. I mean, I met Arthur, as I say, over 30 years ago through our common love of cricket. And in 1978, he turned to me and said, Les, I'm going to try and form the Cheltenham District Cricket Association, and I'd like you to be treasurer. I said, crikey, Arthur, you know, I don't want to go. It's a 5-minute-a-year job. I mean, anybody around this table who has any financial knowledge of engineers will know that any estimate they give you, you multiply by about 500. That just about sums it all up. But that was the start of it, and that was his brainchild. Now, not only did we do that, but we went to lots of cricket games together at Lord's, and one particular day at Lord's, we're there watching Gloucestershire play, and we went into the indoor school at Lord's. Arthur said, "Crikey, wouldn't it be a good idea if we had some indoor nets in Cheltenham?" And he had in mind an old railway tunnel or a Banbury bill, is the words he used at the time, and I think he'd remember that. Anyway, we came back to Cheltenham, still he got this idea, and at the time Keith Nutland was borough treasurer, and Keith was a keen cricketer, you may remember him, and very keen on his cricket. We chatted to him, and the next thing we knew, Arthur put up a submission, and I put some figures behind it, and we went before the council, and that was his brainchild. That cricket centre was built and still exists today, and that's, again, another legacy of what Arthur has done. And an even bigger legacy, as I'm sure Les here would agree, is the Victory Club. I mean, again, he was behind, the driving force behind that Victory Club, moving from Trafalgar Square to where it is now. And I've got nothing but admiration for him, because I do think he's done a fantastic job. And I shall always be very grateful to him, and I'm sure that Andrew will join me in this, because he was the one that taught us how to play golf. And this is where I mean this. I mean, I hadn't played. Andrew was only a young lad then, wasn't he? And he would take us to Minchinhampton Old Course. I know some of you heard this before, but I mean, it's a fact that we learned how to play golf with Arthur. Took us to the Minchinhampton Old Course, and as we stood on the first tee, he said to us both, one of the important things about golf is etiquette. And we said, oh yeah. Anyway, didn't quite understand what he meant, except when he was on his backswing, Andrew, whether it was a nervous twitch or rattled his club. And Arthur said something in a quiet, roving way. That's not the sort of thing you should do, you see. So Andrew's there, deadpan face, you know. And every now and again he'd nudge me. Look at Morris, look at Morris. Anyway, we played the first hole. Now the first hole was a par 4, and we played that reasonable. I mean, Arthur played it very well, and Andrew and I being learners, we did okay. The next was a par 5. Now, if you recall, Andrew, we teed off, and you know, that's right. And I think we reached the green maybe in 4 or 5. Of course, Arthur, being the experienced golfer, reached it in a regulatory 3. Now, Andrew and I putted out, and we probably had about 7 apiece, I would think, on that par 5. Arthur's there for 3, so we put him for a birdie. That's right. And of course, the first putt went past the hole, so we just missed his birdie, and we stood there, and would you believe the second went past the hole? Then the third putt Andrew, by this time, of course, is having great difficulty because he's nudging me all the time. And of course, I was thinking, I can't believe this, you know. Do you know what? He missed another one. And it was only that far from the hole, so I think either Andrew or I said, oh, you can have that, Arthur. And he got his putter, and without a word of a lie, and I mean, I didn't know anything about the etiquette of golf, but it was the biggest divot I've ever seen. Seriously, I just stood there. Well, I walked to the next tee, and I couldn't tee off because the tee. And Andrew kept, you know, egging me on. He just wouldn't let go of it. But that wasn't all. You know, it started to rain, and I said, "Cool, should we pack it in?" We don't pack it in for rain, said Arthur. So of course we go on and get wet. 2 weeks later we're up there. Rained again. He turns around. He says, "Shall we pack it in?" You know? We can't pack it in. That was the start of our golfing lessons, wasn't it, Andrew? And we played a few times like that. Thoroughly enjoyed it. And later on, I organised trips to Scotland, and Arthur came as well. And we had absolutely fabulous times, I think we'd agree. You know, we really did. You know, playing courses up in Scotland near Perth. Half-inch was Arthur's greatest achievement, I think. Went round there in under
Inch west, wasn't it?
Hey?
Inch west or east inch or something like that.
I thought it was called half-inch.
We called it
But
half
anyway,
inch because it was easy.
it was absolutely great. But yeah, I've had some fabulous times, and as I say, I really mean this, Arthur, when I say I think that what you've done for Cheltenham, cricket and everything else is phenomenal. And Joe, you've been behind him all the way. You've done all the catering, the Cricket Society, for example, which he was a founder member again. That's still going, same as the Victory Club. I think it's a credit to you. And I'm very proud to have known you, Arthur, and proud to be a friend.
Thank you very much.